Well, first of all, got to give Kentucky credit. They played really well for 4 quarters. We didn't play well for 4 quarters. We played a really good second half. And against good football teams, you can't do that. We didn't make plays in the first half. We had, if you look at it statistically, our defense played extremely well in the first half. Our offense outgained them, but we didn't make plays. We had opportunities to make plays. Really, the same thing that troubled us throughout the season troubled us again here today. Drop balls, missed opportunities. So that's really kind of the story of the game. Obviously we gave up a big play on special teams, and we missed an execution opportunity on special teams. So that's where we're at. Give Kentucky all the credit in the world. All the credit in the world. We didn't play the way we're capable of playing, and that's why the game ended up the way it did. Open up the questions.
Please raise your hand. We can get a mic to you. Start over here on the left.
James, over here to your left. It's 27-21. You have 4th and 7, and you decide to kick the field goal. What went into your thinking, and did you consider going for it?
Yeah, it really was going to come down to how close we could get it to 4th and short, as well as our defense had been playing all day long, and with us having 3 timeouts left. We were either going to have to score in that situation if we went for it, or we were going to have to kick a field goal, which still would have put it in a situation where we could have got a field goal on that last drive. So it really just came down to how long was the 4th down going to be, and the fact that we had managed the timeouts pretty good. We still had 3 available. If we're able to stop them on those, first 3 plays, be able to go 3 and out, use our timeouts. We weren't able to do that, So obviously, when you don't stop them and they run 4-minute offense and they're able to get a first down and burn timeouts, then obviously it looks like you should have went for it, in an earlier situation. But it just really comes down to execute. We didn't execute. The first half we didn't execute on offense. We didn't execute on special teams. But that's what played into that decision making there.
First row.
Coach, what is the nature of Trace McSorley's injury, and how hard are you that he came back in the second half and eventually he come back to this team?
Yeah, we don't typically get into the specifics. I know it got out there. Obviously, Trace was experiencing some discomfort. The doctors felt like he could go, but it really just came down to Trace. How Trace felt. We first went out there, he wasn't feeling real good, and then felt good from that point on. And obviously we're going to confirm some things now, but it really just came down to what the doctors thought and what Trace thought, and didn't feel like he could go early.
James, following on that though, to see him come back and kind of lead you guys the way he did in this final game, what does that say kind of about him as a player?
Yeah, I could sit here and talk about Trace, for hours. I think today was a really good example of the type of leader he is, the type of player he is, the type of person he is. When we gave him time, he was able to make some big plays. He was able to make big plays with his arms, able to make big plays with his feet. We missed some opportunities in the first half in terms of drops. We missed some throws too, honestly. We just did not take advantage of opportunities in the first half. When you're playing a good team, you can't just play a good half. You got to play well for 4 quarters, and we didn't do that. Trace is special. I can't put it into words. The type of relationship that I have with him and his family. Special guy for a lot of different reasons. And obviously, you look out in the field, you focus on his arm and his legs, but it's his heart. It's his heart and his mind that really makes him special.
On the right, halfway.
James, you said the special teams, the inconsistencies there that's mentioned has been a problem all season. How how do you kind of handle that? I mean, did you see progress throughout the year from them, or what's kind of the status of that position group moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. It's inconsistency. You know, we punt the ball 73 yards once, and then we shank the next, and that's kind of happened kind of throughout the year. It's our execution. You know, it's responsibility of us as coaches to make sure they're confident and understand what their responsibilities are. We haven't done it. You know, we haven't done it consistently all year long, so it's a concern coming into the season. We knew, relying on 2 true freshmen, you know, from the specialist position, that was going to be a little bit of a concern. But we also have had some opportunities that we haven't made. You know, haven't made plays, haven't done consistently what we need to do. Like everything, we'll evaluate it. You know, we'll take a deep dive in it. We'll ask tough questions to ourselves. You know, and we'll look at everything. You know, A through Z, we'll look at everything. We'll have tough conversations. We'll do what we got to do to get better. But it was not up to our standards today. It wasn't up to our standards all year long.
James, I was wondering if you could discuss the fake punt early, what effect that had on momentum, why you decided to do that?
Yeah, we've been working that. You know, we dropped the ball. We don't drop the ball. I think we get the first down. You know, it's hard to fumble the ball on a 4th and short situation and pick it up. You know, went into this game wanting to be aggressive. We knew we were going to call that. We had another one we were going to call if the situation presented itself. But we wanted to play the game aggressively. You know, you go for it on 4th and short, you don't get it, you get criticized for it. You don't go for it on 4th and short, and you punt the ball. I get it. It comes down to us doing a better job as coaches and as players of executing. The reality is, the punt late in the game, you know, it was pretty obvious that our defense was playing well. The reason they were able to play early in the game well is because of field position. You know, we took that risk right there, wanted to be aggressive and keep the ball in our hands and give ourselves the best chance to go down and score. We didn't execute. We gave them great field position, gave them momentum. There's no doubt about it. You pick up that first down, you don't fumble the snap, you go down and score. It's a different story, obviously, in the first half.
Stay on the right, go back.
James, Kentucky quarterback Perry Wilson had been playing really, really well, and you guys contained him pretty well today. Did you see something that resulted in how effective you were in containing him?
Who you said?
Perry Wilson, Kentucky quarterback.
Yeah, you know, we've pretty much been able to do that, you know, for the second half of the year defensively. We've done some pretty good things. I think the biggest issue was the running back. We contained him for a little bit, but he made just enough plays consistently kind of throughout the game, and that's the style that they wanted to play. They want to play, you know, really good defense, you know, play smart on special teams and run the football. That's kind of who they are. You know, I think you look at their running back who played in the game. You look at their outside linebacker, defensive end who played in the game. I do think it's a real positive thing for Kentucky's program. I think it's a really positive thing for college football, that guys like that decide to play in the game when you see kind of across the country that not happening. And I know you can make arguments both ways, and I'm not pounding the table in either direction. But I do think, you know, that was a great sign for college football. And obviously those guys factored in today. You know, the quarterback, we felt like we'd have an opportunity to kind of limit some of the things that they were doing, but it really came down to our game plan trying to stop the running back. And he was able to make too many plays.
On the left and front row.
Can you address Rob Renfrew's status? Why he not playing?
Yeah, Rob was suspended for a violation of team rules.
James, you mentioned Dennis Snell and Josh Allen are alluded to them. Having competed and seen them on the field, what makes them so good?
The three guys that we knew, you know, we had to stop was Bowden, Snell, and Allen. You know, we knew that. You know, and I think, you know, really all three of them showed up today. You know, just we knew Bowden was going to be a problem. We knew Allen was going to be a problem. We knew Snell was going to be a problem. You know, they've built their program around those guys. They built their season around those guys. There are guys that can hurt you a lot of different ways. They're tough, they're athletic, they're smart, they're physical, and they played well. And they made plays, you know, in timely situations, you know, like great players do.
James, you talked before about trying to get to 10 wins here for the third straight year. Hadn't been done by Penn State, Big Ten area, not getting that. How do you view this team and this program after falling short of that going forward? And, it's kind of an era with a bunch of guys with sort of younger guys. How do you just kind of view this team moving forward after this?
Yeah, obviously we're disappointed. The losses that we had this year, they're hard. They're hard for us to swallow. They're hard for the fan base to swallow. I get it. I watch college football like everybody else does. It's hard. It's hard to win, at the highest level. We've had 3 really good years. 3 years, you look at our last 3 years compared to those programs in the country, we're up there with the best of them. But obviously we played a lot of young players this year. I think there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hope for our future. We got some guys that have some decisions to make, obviously. But obviously, today hurts. But I know that locker room we just got done talking about is excited about the future. We got some things that we got to get cleaned up. We got to get some things that we got to get corrected, and we got to take ownership of all them things.
And also joined by quarterback Trace McSorley. We're going to go over to the right for our next question.
James, as you look back on this season, you've had 2 separate instances where you've had situations on 4th down, including the Ohio State game where you take the ball out of Trace's hands. As you look back on this year as a whole, how difficult will that sit with you?
Yeah, I get it. Our biggest issue, offensively this year, we rushed for more yards this year after losing Saquon Barkley. We rushed for more yards per carry. We led the Big Ten in passing the last 2 years, and we weren't able to consistently throw the ball this year. We had too many drops. That showed up again today. So, to me, that's the biggest issue with our offense this year. That showed up in this game as well. Obviously, I want to talk about Kentucky. We can go back and talk about a lot of plays throughout the season. But to me, overall, that was our issue with our offense this year. We weren't consistent enough in the passing game.
Over here on the left.
James, again, what would it have taken you to keep Trace out of the game after his injury? And Trace, if I can ask Trace, what would it have taken you not to return to the game?
Well, I think the first thing is it always starts and ends with the doctors. They're going to make that call. And then after that, it's a conversation with Trace. And I think, at first, we weren't sure. And that was my conversation with Trace. And he didn't necessarily tell me that he couldn't go, but I know Trace. I could see his eyes and I could tell his movement. I wasn't going to put him back in there. And then, some time went by and he ran around a little bit and felt better and felt confident. So once the doctors, left it up to Trace, and that's my conversations with Trace, and that's me knowing Trace, and that's me watching Trace. And obviously you saw how he was able to play, after that first series.
Yeah, I say, kind of echo what you said. It's kind of, the doctors say it's just a matter of how it felt and kind of pain management. For me, my personality, I wasn't going to go out. They would have had to take all my best from me. I was going to be playing. So it was just a matter of being able to deal with it and then being able to go out there. I've been through too much. This team's been through too much for it to be a little pain deal or whatever. If they said it, kind of what they told me, just a matter of dealing with the discomfort. If I could do that, I was going to do it.
Front row on the left.
Trace, we were told it was a broken foot. By Chris. True or not true? I just want to know what we're dealing with.
Unclear right now.
We don't know.
We haven't had any definitive decision or information.
Yeah, we're going to find that out. We're going to find that out here in a little bit. There was a lot of discussion whether Trace was going to come in here or not because of that. We're going to go find out for sure.
So what was the pain like when it was hurting the most, and what did you think?
It was just a lot of pain, putting pressure on it. That's kind of just I guess that's the biggest thing. It was just a lot of pain in the local pain in the spot, what it was. I don't really know what to equate it to or anything like that, but it was just a lot of pain. When I came out, I felt like I couldn't really run regularly. I could push off to throw, but me being me, I wanted to be able to be 100% for the team. and knowing what the team needs me to do is be able to be mobile. And I think that is something that I didn't at first think I could do, and then kind of things started kicking in, kind of the adrenaline or whatever it was, me wanting to get back out, the adrenaline kicked in, and the pain became manageable, and I was able to get back out there.
One last question from the back on the left.
Trace, for you, this final couple of drives, a lot of the guys you're looking towards are freshmen, guys are going to be on campus for several more years. You look around, walk off the field, what do you think you leave Penn State in terms of what's next? And additionally, just want to know your thoughts on Sean Clifford. Obviously, he was ready to get in the game. He seemed like to be trailing you the entire time if you need to get back in there. And Coach Franklin, your thoughts on Clifford, how he performed, with this, surprise and call to action today?
Yeah, I'd say with kind of the first part of your question about what's to come with a lot of these young guys, I think the talent out of the young guys right now is, I don't want to put a ceiling on them because I really think they can go as far as they want to. It's going to be a matter of work ethic and buying into Coach Franklin and his program, and those guys putting team before self and doing everything that they can to make this program and this team better. They buy in. The amount of talent out there. I talked to this guy after the month Justin Shorter had, in my mind, was the best month I've seen this last month out of any of those kids. He grew leaps and bounds in that last month. And that can be said for all those guys. They just continue to get better and better. And I sit back and I look at guys that definitely take on the field much, Rasheed Walker, Jason Owen, a couple of those guys that, as now I'm an alumni, which is weird to say, but I'm excited to watch what those guys are going to do. And I'm excited to see where the leaders of those young guys are going to be able to carry this team. And a guy like Cliff, he's a guy that can lead. And like you said, he's always going to be ready. He's always going to be prepared. He came in today when his number was called. He went in and operated and did what he had to do. But then the rest of the time, he was trailing my hip, asking questions, coming back. I'm excited to see what his career is going to look like because he's got everything that you need in a quarterback to be successful. And I think he's going to be able to continue to make those strides, leaps and bounds, and take control. And then whether it's next year, 2 years, 3 years from now, whenever his time is, he's going to be ready.
I think we create a lot of competition in that room. I think the thing that probably Trace, didn't mention, though, is he's left a legacy, not only on our team but in that quarterback room. How he practices, how he prepares, how he watches film, how he takes notes, how he asks questions, the buy-in, the summer workouts, the spring ball, all of it. So when you have a player like Trace that's done it the right way, both on and off the field, academically, athletically, socially, the whole package, it sets the tone for the young guys, and they have so much respect for him. Cliff, Tommy, Levis, all those guys, Schuster, they've all learned. They've all learned from Trace. What he's done well, what he's done to give himself the best chance to be successful, what he's done well to give the team the most chance to be successful. So Trace will be remembered for a long time, not only with our fan base, but also with the people in our locker room, with the people on our team.
Coach Trace, thank you for your time. With the additional player availability for Penn State outside their locker room, if you were to head out the exit door on the right, just turn right over there.
I do want to take a moment and thank the media that followed us all year long and covered our program, and covered our players. We appreciate the work you do. We really do. So I want to make that comment.